I think we can kind of go into what you've been known most recently on Twitter the most of is Doomer Optimism. So maybe we can talk about how that, kind of sprung up and things, but we'll go specifically into a couple of things. I just want to kind of prime it as well. Like, so we live in the Anthropocene, now we are in a different fossilized record, like it is going to show up somehow, those plastics, all that stuff to aliens, to future humans, who the fuck knows, whatever, but climate degradation's big, everything's kind of ecosystem and species extinction. Everyone says we're part of the next big extinction. So then that just kind of sets the tone of like the seriousness of what just Earth is going through. I mean, we might never need to save Earth because Earth doesn't need saving. It's really us that we need to save. And then we kind of briefly talked about cosmo-localism with the scales, but because I think, as you said, the importance of localism and how that's perceived in different cultures, different localities, different people, but then also some principles, maybe not a top-down thing, but maybe a bottom-up. And then that goes into what I've kind of written about, the updated operating manual for Spaceship Earth. Buckminster Fuller's previous book in the 60s was really kind of again, he was trying, principles, kind of like, here's a book to do something. Well, now it's not going to be a book. Now it's going to be thousands and thousands of local cultures, put together in some type of edifice or framework or something. And that's really what's going to be an updated operating manual for Spaceship Earth moving forward. Managed retreat, maybe some of that we had talked about, our different technological futures, dealing with the Anthropocene, dealing with climate change. Right. Well, we're either going to deal with it coherently or not. So right. It doesn't really matter. And then solar punk, which is kind of the Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli, kind of like getting past our traditional sci-fi dystopic Blade Runner, that kind of aspect, and really trying to, again, technological futures. If we can think of technological dystopias, why can we not think of maybe not technological utopias and maybe not utopias at all, but more coherence, more, more flourishing.
Positive. Yeah. And a positive vision.
Yeah. And then lastly, retroactive public goods funding. So before all of our industry, business, everything is about like profit incentives. How can we make a buck right now, and not just make a buck right now, but this quarter, this day. And so maybe doing like more public goods and really tuning out rewards of value and such. Now, I don't know exactly how that happens, and it doesn't really matter, but these kind of ideas are something that we're doomed, but we're optimistic about it. You know what I mean? Like as ecosystems die, further ecosystems arise. So let's just kind of set that tone.
Yeah, sure. So Doomer Optimism is right. It's exactly what you said. It's basically like, recognizing the challenges of the time that we're in, but finding ways to thrive despite the challenges or because of the challenges. I think there's also something to be said about, we don't want this system to keep going. Like, it's not going well. People are not happy. They're depressed. There's an epidemic of suicide. Like, people don't have access to the goods and services they need to thrive. If our goal is, if our principle is just human thriving, we're not doing well. Right. And so what alternatives can we seek out that can help to be aligned with those principles that we have? Like, how can we thrive as a species, as a culture, as individuals, in the home, all of those different things, but in balance with nature. And the way that I approach Doomer Optimism in general, and I think there's been some critiques on Twitter, because I think in general, as soon as a term arises, somebody says like, this is what it is. No, this is what it is. Or these are
contrarians come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it's just like, I know, it's just like, well, Doomer Optimism is a leftist thing, or it's a statist thing, or I'm like,
we don't even know what it is. We don't even know what it is.
Me and Jason literally don't know. It happened because me and Jason were just like riffing on Twitter together. We just met on Twitter, and we just get along so well. And he was saying something along the lines of like, yeah, I'm a doomer, I recognize that, but I'm optimistic despite it all. And I think I responded to that like, Doomer Optimism unite, or Doomer Optimism for the win, or something. And that's how it was born, because it was just basically like him describing his own process, which resonates with me. And to me, the right approach to something like this, it's not really a movement, it's a description of things that people are already feeling and doing. the right approach is to just bring a lot of people in to talk to one another. There are people way far on the tech side of the spectrum, or the cryptocurrency people, who are like that. That's not exactly my wheelhouse, but you're welcome. Like, I'd love to have a conversation about that. I'm not closing any doors. I think that there's a lot of potential in a lot of those principles, and a lot of those people are guided by the same principles I am. So let's get together, let's have a conversation. You inform me, I'll inform you about our different perspectives and our ways of approaching things. Like I said, we all just need like kind of small projects to work on that we love, you know? So I think like if you already love it and you care about it and you advocate for it, having a community or an umbrella with which to discuss like the thing you love and you want to bring other people into, you know, I'm thinking about this Tolstoy quote from Anna Karenina about how, you know, basically we're all just arguing all night, and there's all these intellectual people in the book and arguing all night. But what it comes down to is they just like want other people to understand what they love. And it is true. I mean, you get down to it, you're arguing about things. It's like, I really just love spending time on in nature with people who love nature and beautiful gardens. I love that. Like it comes down to it, I'm just like, you know, peasant agriculture, blah, blah, blah. I really just love this. I think it's beautiful, you know, and I want to share the thing that I love with other people. And so, yeah, Doomer optimism is that to me. It's just like, yeah, some people just love Bitcoin. It's okay. Like, let them love it. Let them advocate for it. Like, let's just talk about it. Let's and talk about the merits and let's everybody have a space to talk about what they love. And so I think there's a really important distinction though to be made from running away from or running toward.
That's a good.
And I think a lot of times the doomer thing is I'm running away from, or I'm mourning the loss of. And it's okay to be both. You know, it's okay to both mourn a way of life that, you know, you've grown up in or become used to or helped make you who you are.
Good point. Give validation to that, because a lot of people don't.
And it's like, it's okay to mourn. It's okay to be in denial. It's okay to be angry that the system that you trusted and relied on is not trustworthy or reliable anymore. And then, you know, running toward what it is, the world you want to see. And I think, like I said before, like that dual process, it's really awkward. I mean, it's awkward for a lot of us, and people will say like, you're a hypocrite, or this is not a pure thing, or you don't have a solution that's like holistic. And no, none of us will. Like, the whole idea is that we're all just kind of feeling around in the dark, seeing what comes next. I think like the solar punk stuff is that too. Like, it's all just a mishmash, and I think it's okay that it's incoherent. I think like the point is to embrace the exploration and experimentation, not to try to imagine a coherent set of things in advance. Because I think that's, you know, people who are keyboard warriors, they're very good at that. Imagining a very
self-fulfilling prophecy. It's and then we get there real quick, and it's like, wait, how do I?
Yeah, exactly. And I think like they're just not field tested. That people don't think about that, and they're really good at telling you how you're incoherent or telling you how their vision is perfect, but their vision has not been tested, and so it's probably not going to happen. And a lot of people are very good at imagining utopias, and not very many people historically have been very good at enacting utopias. It's okay to be incoherent, to be sloppy, but I think the goal, I think, is really just to move toward something and to keep learning. You know, for example, my journey has been, I'm, you know, thinking 20 years ago, thinking like solar panels are the best possible thing, or maybe more like 10 years ago. And then now I'm thinking, okay, how can we work with natural systems? For example, this woman who I love, Tao Orion, was posting about how she culls her forest in a way that's different from the way that forest is clear cut, and probably produces more energy, like, you know, total wood energy, the way she does it than the way the clear cut people do it, even though they say that's more efficient. Like, thinking about those different systems that might exist and that we might experiment with, I think is really important. And And I don't know, and then just learning where you're wrong. I think it's okay to like revise, revise and keep growing and that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm open to any and all of the above. I think there's some people who've contacted me who are like neo-monarchists. Like, okay, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like,
I'm new here. I'm new here, guys.
I don't know what neo-monarchy is. I don't know
That's
what that
hilarious.
is, but it's fine. Like, okay, maybe because there is something about the monarchy that's like that breeds a kind of like pride and distinction.
I see.
Like, so, and I don't really know that much about it. Like I said, I don't want to like make opinions about things I don't know about, but it's a big tent in that, I think if we're guided by similar principles, everybody's got a different way that they think maybe we'll get there. It takes all types, we're just going to have to keep trying all these different things and see how it goes.